Pulling power with ixm.co.uk, where cars go faster.
In this week's Pack Show, the MPV that thinks it's a rally car. Where to go for the cheapest servicing. Head-to-head, one family tests 2 new Hondas. And we road test the latest in-car movie systems.
We all love bargains, but are they always worth the money? Retailers will use all sorts of things to persuade us to purchase.
Cool.
Now, car manufacturers are getting in on the act. If you are bargain hunting, all these models are meant to make your mouth water.
So, can bottom-of-the-range cars be the top of the shops? Well, this entry-level Super Mini from Citroën costs under £6,000. That's half as much as the top-of-the-range model, so you could say it's 2 for the price of 1.
What it's like to drive? Well, considering it's only 1 litre, it's got everything you could want. Put your foot down, hit the revs right, and it is just right. Round town, you can't beat it. Flogging up and down the motorway with 4 on board isn't what it's best at.
But 45 miles per gallon, low insurance, and now a 3-year warranty should keep costs low. Our verdict? The Saxo is cheap, but very cheerful.
Designer stores use the special purchase line to hook us in, but all too often that special purchase ends up being a size 6. Not an option.
But how about a 1.6? In Alfa Romeo's Executive Express, that's good for 0 to 60 in around 10 seconds and a top speed of 124 miles per hour.
And like all Alfa Romeo engines, it really is lovely to drive.
With a main dealer price of under £14,000, this car sells for Astra money.
The interior, it's chic, it's Italian. I don't particularly like the matte all black, but if you're paying rock-bottom prices, hey, who cares? It's still got plenty of style. And on the outside, well, you've got those wonderful 156 lines.
Spec includes twin airbags, ABS, aircon, power steering, the list goes on. But the clincher is that we've seen this car advertised new at non-franchise car supermarkets for less than £12,000. At that price, they're giving them away.
If you're prepared to buy your clothes at the end of the season, there are bargains to be had. So if a 4-wheel drive hits your fashion G-spot, how about a Jeep Cherokee?
On the face of it, this is an awful lot of car for your money. 16 grand buys you a piece of pure vintage Americana.
I mean, I really feel like I've gone back in time sitting this. It's absolutely extraordinary. I mean, listen to this. I mean, there's no attempt at anything that's vaguely modern. I mean, this is pure 1980s. They kind of shoehorned an airbag in, but they haven't done anything else to modernise it at all. The 2.5 engine just doesn't have the pulling power. It really doesn't. And OK, it's a bargain basement price, and if you don't mind that on-road performance, fine. If you're really interested in off-road, then it shouldn't bother you because you're getting exactly the same level of expertise and exactly the same level of equipment as you have with the top of the range.
Our verdict? At the money, it's left for dead by Toyota's new 2-litre RAV4. So here it's a case of walk on by. Which is more than these 2 ladies at this Bicester shopping village could do when they saw our budget version of the Mercedes SLK.
What do you think about the car?
Absolutely fabulous. This is on my wish list.
So would it surprise you if I told you that this is a base model?
I'm amazed that you said that. I would not have, I saw it coming up the street and I thought that's the car and I would not have known it was base model.
Dream car, doesn't really matter that it's got to be top of the range.
I just think it's absolutely super. I just want to take it out for a spin.
This 2-litre supercharged car with that silky electric roof costs £24,500. Not exactly cheap, but the top spec version costs £6,500 more and buys you just 1 second off your 0 to 60. But if all this sounds a bit too good to be true, then a word of caution. Buying a basement model gives you a great deal, but when you come to sell, you might find that buyers will demand an equally good deal from you. Offer it as a trade-in to a dealer and you might get a rude shock. But if you're buying to keep, then we say these and others like them are great buys. And just think of the look on the neighbours' faces.
If your idea of a mobile entertainment system is listening to Westlife on your personal stereo, then it's time for you to think again. Yuck! Forget your puny in-car sound system. What you need is one of these. The best thing about this car is you actually forget you're on a journey anywhere because you can get lost in your own tiny little mini cinema. You could be here for hours. In fact, I intend to be here for hours.
This Mercedes is privately owned and is packed with the very latest entertainment system.
This car has got a DVD with 2 screens, an amazing sound system, and it could be all yours for just a mere £5.5 grand. I've got a wee remote control in the back here. Don't know exactly what it does, but my motto is, if in doubt, play with it. So I will do. I love this bit. So all in all, things can't get much better. You've got movies, you've got sounds, and you're travelling, and there's room in the back for a friend.
The idea of in-car games and DVD players may seem exotic, but it's just around the corner.
This is a Fiat Multipla. It's got a satellite navigation system, it's got a multi-CD player, it's got a DVD with 2 screens, it's got a TV, and it's got a PlayStation. Just be thankful I'm not driving the real car. It would be in trouble. Every parent knows the frustration of being stuck in a traffic jam with the kids in the back. Well, the system in this Fiat could be the answer to your prayers. While you're driving, the kids can watch their favourite movies. All the kit in this car costs £10,000.
This is the latest big thing to hit the streets of London. All this high-tech kit may come at a steep price, but prices are going to drop in a big way. We wanted to see more, so we agreed to meet 2 London boy racers at a secret King's Cross address.
This is Taz. Used to be just an escort, but now it's Taz. £60,000 worth of work you're looking at here because it's got everything in it. It's got a 10-disc CD, it's got 5 televisions, of course. It's got one of those state-of-the-art navigational systems. It's got a DVD, it's got a Dreamcast. And most importantly, it's got virtual reality goggles. Duh. This Chevy is a boy racer's dream. Tell me about the equipment that you've got inside your Chevy, sir.
Starting from front to back, what we've got a hedge unit that plays CDs, and then this little box of tricks down here is a controller that gives me even more control over the sound with crossovers and equalizers.
So you're a bit of a sound man, really?
Yes, I am. I like it loud.
So what's in the boot?
Okay, in the boot we've got 15,000 watts of amplifiers. There's 6 amplifiers running the entire system within the van. Also in the boot is some marine batteries that are 70 kilos each, just to keep everything moving.
And I see the big speakers at the back here.
Yeah, that's my 12 best friends. That's the 12-inch.
Are you very lonely?
They are. I am. I have to take them everywhere I go.
Do the birds love it?
Absolutely.
Do they? Do they?
Yeah, of course they do.
What do they like about it?
It's loud.
It vibrates and they don't have to move themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I get you on that one.
Well, that was an offer I just couldn't refuse.
It is so loud in here. It's not funny. It is 153 decibels in here, which is louder than Concord. Unbelievably stupidly noisy. And if this is boys' toys, we can keep it.
If you're into high-performance cars, there's a 3-letter word that's sure to make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Evo. Now, Mitsubishi have been making Evolution specials for almost 10 years with rocket ship acceleration and phenomenal levels of grip. Now, a 270 horsepower Evo 6 like this one is more than enough for most motorists. But if you want to go a bit faster, you need to head for Dudley in the West Midlands. There's a clue in the title, Ralliart. Now, Mitsubishi Evo cars have won the World Rally Championship for 4 straight years. And you can buy the parts that make those cars fly at any Mitsubishi dealer up and down the country. But Ralliart's shop in downtown Dudley really is the mecca of Evo technology. And here they turn the bog standard car into something that'll really tear up the tracks. Well, this is Tony Cox, who ran that successful rally team. He's known as Papa Boost in the industry, and this is your baby.
That's right, this is really my baby. This car is developed from the Evo 6 RS2 to the Extreme.
But is it really all about just putting masses of horsepower onto the road? Is that what it's...
Well, no, in actual fact, no, it's not. It's masses of torque and some extra boost. It's about getting the thing from 0 to 60, 0 to 100 in the quickest possible time. We match it with equal amount of suspension and the brakes as well. This has surely got to be the quickest baby on the road. As they say, the proof of the pudding is in trying.
Cheers, Tony. Oh well, the only difference between men and boys is the size of their toys. With 340 brake horsepower and a 0 to 60 of 4 seconds, the only way you'll come close to the limits of the Extreme is on a private test track. There's no question that this car is very, very quick. It's deceptive though, it's a kind of controlled speed. It doesn't go around the corners on rails like I thought it would. It's got a reassuring sort of slide about it. It's the best traditions I'd give a rally car. It makes you want to do this with the wheel rather than be inch perfect precise. It makes a lovely popping sound when you lift off the throttle in acceleration. That's the turbo just having a bit of a breather. It's a lovely sound. Whoa! Not a terribly forgiving car to drive, this. You see that back there? It's unbelievable. So far, so good. But what does the boy racer do when the days of beer and skittles are over and he finds himself with a young family and the weekly shopping to look after? Well, Ralliart have very thoughtfully stuck a 270 horsepower engine in a people carrier. Now, it's not a 7-seater, it's not even a 5-seater, but 4 people are very comfortable, and just look at the way you can play around with these seats at the back. I like this very much. Just forwards and backwards to make as much space as you like. But there is one thing which I think is an absolute pile of pants. Look at this. You go to open the back door, and you've got this sort of corral area here first before you get through to the main event. I just think that's really silly. It just doesn't work for me at all. Well, you're certainly not going to have any trouble being the first out of the supermarket car park. This thing really does accelerate like a train. It is, to all intents and purposes, though, just a standard MPV. There's nothing exceptional about the way it drives. It's got a bit of body roll. The gear shift is more or less exactly as you'd expect from an MPV. Great visibility out of it, as all the things you would expect, but just this phenomenal acceleration from a 247 horsepower engine. So here's a bit of a pulling power exclusive. We're now sitting in the 3-litre Eclipse. This is a car which has really gone down big in America. These secret test vehicles are here for European evaluation. There's some talk of the car being sold in the UK, but only in left-hand drive. It's not flat out fast, but it's a really nice car to drive. Great driving position, very comfortable. I can see why the Americans like it. It would be a big hit over there, and I think it could be quite popular over here as well. So, have the people who turned rallying into an art form got it right on the production car side? Well, you have to say that all of these cars have a certain quality about them. Unfortunately, on the inside, it's a rather plasticky quality. If there's one thing I'd change about them, it would be that. Beef it up a little bit, make it a little bit more luxurious. But on the chassis side and engine side, you really can't fault it. Clearly, there's a lot of very good thinking coming out of the West Midlands. It wasn't just Darwin who was right with the theory of evolution.
Coming up after the break, why heading southwest can improve your service. And 2 new Hondas, but which is right for a growing family.
Hi, I'm Alex Cooper. I'm a chartered physiotherapist from Shropshire, and I'm in desperate need of a new bike.
Hi, my name's Darryl Cooper. I'm Alex's husband, and I'd like a new bike too.
But we have a little addition to the family on the way, which means that we need something a bit more practical, like a new car.
The choice for Darryl and Alex is a simple one. Keep their much-loved but impractical Wrangler V8 and buy a new bike, or do the sensible thing and trade in the Jeep for a more practical car. But we're not going to make the choice easy. We're lending them two of Honda's finest, the all-new CBR 600F and the latest class-leading Civic, a 1.6 SE exec, in Pulling Power's first bike versus car test on request.
When I first got into the car, I was quite surprised where the gearbox was, but it's a nice tight gearbox, nice and easy to use, and the positioning is actually quite a natural feel. It's quite normal for my hand to fall into that position, so it's easy to change gear.
The lack of a centrally mounted gearbox also frees up the interior, making the Civic surprisingly roomy inside.
You've got plenty of headroom, leg space is nice, and the seats are very comfortable. And from a physio point of view, that's very important, the amount of car seats that don't tend to hold you very well, and really these hold you very nicely. You feel well supported, so I can imagine that on longer journeys this would be quite a comfortable car to ride in.
It's also a very practical baby carrier.
I was very surprised how much stuff we could actually get in the car. Initially when I looked at it, I thought there was no way we would get half the stuff in that we actually did. I was pleasantly surprised that we could get the pram and the cot and the baby seat, car seat, all in simultaneously really, with a bit of juggling.
The high-tech 1.6-litre VTEC engine produces 108 brake horsepower, making it sporty for a family hatch.
I think it would possibly be a little too tame for Darryl, but when he gets in it and he actually realises the acceleration of it and the power of the engine, be pleasantly surprised by it. But I'm still not sure if we'll convince him away from the bike.
With over 300,000 sold worldwide, the CBR has been one of Honda's biggest sellers. Producing the same power as the car at a fraction of the weight, this 600 is all about fun.
Well, it's all right. Riding around in the breeze. Well, it's all right. If you live the life you please, well,
very, very smooth, very sweet. Good pickup, easy to handle, very quick. Whoop, horses.
sit around and wait for the morning.
Here we go. 60 miles an hour.
For someone to tell you everything.
4,500 revs. Got 10,000 RPM to play with. I think I would agree with people who say the Honda CBR is one of the best all-rounders, definitely. He stopped very quickly, went round corners very quickly. It was good fun.
So much fun, in fact, Darryl says it's too good for his missus.
Obviously, Alex will have to get her own bike, because I don't want her on the back of this one. So, we'll just have to see, won't we?
Oh, it's lovely. I wish I could get on it, but with this in the way, it's not really possible, unless we get rid of the petrol tank, which I don't think is a very good idea. Very nice colour scheme, looks very snazzy. Much, much prettier front to it as well. So, nice little toy.
So it's decision time. It's either £14,000 for the Civic, or it's £6,500 for the bike, and they get to keep the Jeep.
Well, the verdict's the car. Even though the bike's really good fun and Darryl obviously enjoyed it, we have to go for practical. With little Junior on the way, the bike is not a practical form of transport, we have to go for the car.
Hello, how are you? This is what you want, one of these. But don't tell your mum.
Well, I've just turned my back on the big, overpriced city of London and travelled 200 miles down here to Devon. Why? Well, I need my car serviced. And you know, with the money I save on the job by getting it done here rather than there, I can afford a couple of nights in a posh country hotel. Want to know more?
Of course you do.
We all like saving money, so why stress yourself out taking your car into a big city like London when you could poodle down onto the West Country, save money and have a relaxing break at the same time. Most makes of cars are cheaper to service and repair in the West Country because overheads are that much lower.
We're in a slightly more fortunate position, and because of the lower overheads, obviously in this part of the world, we're able to charge £55 per hour plus VAT.
So if we're including the VAT element, over £100 versus 60 odd pounds, almost half price. But surely people aren't getting the same standard of workmanship, are they?
That is a natural assumption to make from that, but it's just not the case. All of our technicians are BMW trained just the same as anywhere else in the country, and we have all of the latest equipment.
Tempted? Here are some essential tips. The golden rule is ring around several garages, speak to all the service receptionists and ask them a simple question. How much is your hourly workshop labour rate, including VAT? Remember, these crucially important hourly labour rates apply not only to servicing, but also to those unexpected repair and maintenance jobs. You know, some dealers make next to nothing when they sell you a new car. All their fat profits come from servicing work. One little grey area. A lot of people think that when they buy a car from a certain dealership, they have to go back to that particular dealership for servicing work, for warranty work. That's not necessarily the case, is it?
Absolutely not, no. Wherever you buy the car within the Renault network, any other Renault dealership can service it. It's done to the same standards. The only difference really is the price.
Significantly, I think, some manufacturers and dealers bluntly refuse to talk to us about the thorny subject of labour rates on the grounds that they're not really, quote-unquote, relevant to the consumer. Or to put that another way, they don't want you to know exactly what they're charging their mechanics and their technicians out at. What, we wonder, have you got to hide, guys? Truth is, if your car only needs a quick minor service, which only takes up about half an hour of workshop time, it's probably not worth travelling any distance to get the lowest labour rate. But if your car needs to spend, say, 3 to 4 hours under the mechanic's set of spanners, you could save around, well, £160, and that'd certainly be enough to spend a night or two in a luxury hotel. Is it really worth going all this bother of leaving town just to get your car serviced or repaired? Well, I reckon it is, you know. Think about it for a minute. We already buy our clothes, our cameras, our booze, even our cars in foreign countries. So why not at least buy your servicing in another county? Rip off Britain? It doesn't have to be.
In the next show, how scooters have become the latest celeb accessories and the Cadillac that can see in the dark.
And that's at the same time next week, 10:30, here on Carlton.
Pulling power with ixm.co.uk, where cars go faster.